I'm going to bring the regular meeting of the Peters Township Planning Commission to order. Can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Smith is not here. Mr. Magrino is not here. Mr. Wiley?
Here.
Mr. Mills?
Here.
Mr. Salepis?
Here.
Mr. Cartaphillis?
Here.
Ms. Corbel is not here this evening.
In our packet, we have the minutes of the July 13th meeting. Can I have an approval of those minutes, if no comments?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second, and all in favor of approval, say yay.
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 Reports and correspondence, I don't know of any. Do you have any, Seth?
No.
Are there site plans filed for review for later consideration?
No.
Is the agenda the same as we have here in front of us?
Yes.
Are there any audience comments not relegated to tonight's meeting? Can you introduce yourself?
Good evening. My name is Ronald Books. I reside at 855 Bebot Road, Venetia. And I'm here tonight to ask some questions and to give you some opinion. First of all, I was talking to the young fellows over here, and apparently we do a traffic impact study before a development is approved. Is that correct?
To my knowledge, it's usually always
Okay.
study, yeah.
Let me ask you this. It may seem a little off balance to ask this question, but does anybody analyze those traffic impact studies?
I'll leave that up to the planning department to answer.
As I had explained to Mr. Brooks before the meeting, there's kind of two different types of traffic impact analysis. There's a traffic impact analysis and there's a true traffic study. Most of our residential developments, which we see a lot of, don't generate a full-blown traffic study. They don't generate the number of trips required per our ordinance to initiate a full-blown traffic study. However, traffic impact analysis are predominantly done with every residential development, especially those that have access to state roads, which require HOPs through PennDOT. Those are always prepared by licensed traffic engineers in the state of Pennsylvania. They are reviewed by the township's own consulting traffic engineer, traffic planning and design. So there are two traffic engineers that are preparing, reviewing, and responding to these reports, in addition to those that are employed by the state through PennDOT that review them as part of the HOP process, should it be part of that process. So there are certainly a number of individuals that are reviewing these studies and analysis.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Mr. Brooks?
Well, the problem is, from this distance, I'm 77, so I have some hearing problems. So I really didn't make out what he said, but that's me. The point I'm trying to make is, do you evaluate those traffic impact studies before you make a decision on whether or not to give approval to a development?
We evaluate the reports. We don't, this committee here, this commission doesn't actually do the legwork.
So you don't break them down into elements?
It's whatever reports you get.
You depend upon
the reports of the professionals.
Planning to give you the information. The reason I bring that up is Paul Lauer convened a community information meeting approximately 2 weeks ago. And this had to deal with a development that is planned for, it's a commercial building at the intersection of Valley Brook and Bebop. And myself and at least 24 other residents of the community are concerned about traffic. Now, most of the residents that joined me at that meeting were living in Orchard Highlands, which is adjacent to Bebop. I live right on Bebop. And we've experienced what we believe to be a substantial increase in traffic. I've lived here for 35 years in the same home. And since I've moved here, there have been innumerable housing developments that have sprung up. Now, as I understand it, there are at least 5 in the area of Bebop and adjacent roads, including the developments on, I'm trying to think right now, Just About has got a new development. We just discovered that. But there are 4 other developments underway. One of them is, I believe, 160 homes or 140 homes that are planned for what we term or what we call the Arabian horse farm. Now, we're wondering what kind of an impact that's going to have on traffic. I think it's going to be substantial. We already have quite a bit of traffic, and I'm wondering if we should consider, as a township, evaluating where we are with traffic, because we've added more and more homes, more residents, more businesses to the community. But I don't know that we've taken a real strong look at what kind of an impact all of this has had. Now, there may be an impact study done for one housing development, and maybe next month we'll do another one for this housing development. We've never looked at it, I believe, in a conglomerate type of viewpoint to see exactly what kind of an impact all of these housing developments and commercial buildings would have on our traffic. And what I'm concerned about in the end is just exactly, first of all, I live directly on Bebot Road. I can tell you right now that I have almost been struck at least 3 times in the last year by vehicles speeding on that road. Now, I know full well that the police are aware of it, but they're unable to do anything about it. I'm just looking at total traffic. There's a great deal of traffic on that road now that did not exist 10 years ago. And I'm hoping that rather than approve the, I believe it's the Zeraki plan, or the building at the intersection of Bebot and Valley Brook, that we take a real strong look at traffic and the impact that it's having on all of these developments and the effect it's going to have on the community. I'm certain you've already sat in long lines of traffic on some of the other roads. It's getting worse, and I think we need a good plan. I really do. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks.
Any other audience? Having no old business, let's go on to new business. The first one being the Sugarwood Plan No. 2 on Sugar Camp Road. Jim?
Louis and Carol Rosito, owner of 555 Sugar Camp Road, and Sugarwoods Associates, owner of 490 Sugar Camp Road, are requesting township approval to adjust the shared lot line between the 2 properties as shown in the displayed subdivision plan. It should be noted Louis Rosito is the president of the properties as shown. It should be noted Louis Rosito is the president of Sugarwood Associates and the owner of the horse stables and riding arena facilities currently occupying 490 Sugar Camp Road. Additionally, the properties in question are part of the preliminary plan approved by Township Council for the Royal Estates residential development on February 13th, 2023. Both properties are bounded by Sugar Camp Road to the south and the Montour Trail to the north and west. The properties are currently separated by a lot line which runs generally parallel to and approximately 300 feet to the west of the eastern property line from Sugar Camp Road to the Montour Trail. 555 Sugar Camp Road is improved with the single-family dwelling occupied by the Rositos and its associated accessory structures. A tennis court is located mostly on 490 Sugar Camp Road property, but is located within an existing fence that appears to separate the single-family dwelling from the equine facilities. Easements for a gas line, an overhead utility line, and private access exist on the property north of the dwelling and other structures. The applicant proposes a lot line shift that would transfer a little over 3 acres from 490 Sugar Camp Road as shown as residual parcel A4AR to 555 Sugar Camp Road, shown as proposed Lot 1. The area to be conveyed is already bounded by the existing fence, as mentioned earlier, and would place the entirety of the tennis court onto proposed Lot 1. Both properties will remain conforming lots following the proposed subdivision. The Royal Estates development does not propose any dwellings within the area to be conveyed. 555 Sugar Camp Road was recently removed from the Conservation Residential Overlay District. It is now only available to be developed under the base low-density district regulations. However, 490 Sugar Camp Road remains under the CR Overlay District due to the proposed Royal Estates development. As part of the subdivision, the entirety of the area to be conveyed will be removed from the CR overlay district. Planning staff is recommending that Sugarwood's Plan No. 2 be approved subject to the following. Peters Township Sanitary Authority approval of the plan. Washington County Planning Commission review of the plan, which was received today. Clause 2 relating to right-of-way dedication be removed as it is not necessary, or the applicant explained to the satisfaction of township officials the reason for it to remain. And finally, a note be added to the plan confirming the area to be conveyed is to be removed from the CR overlay district, which has been done on the most recently submitted plan that I actually just got in my email this morning.
So you're saying that the part that's asking to be conveyed wasn't part of the original subdivision and didn't have any open space?
It was a remnant
calculation, or?
Yeah, it was that remnant parcel. It was always intended to remain with the Recitos house.
But it didn't add into the calculation of open space on the original parcel?
No.
It had no material impact at all on the Royal Estates preliminary plan.
I can actually show you kind of. This is from the Royal Estates plan, and this is the house, and this is a remnant parcel that would remain with the Recitos.
But the parcel that's remaining with them is that whole red all the way back?
For now, yes.
Okay. And the last statement that you said about being removed from the overlay district was just the 3.11 that's got the tennis courts on it? That's what you were trying to say?
We just want to confirm that that part will be removed from the overlay so that the entirety of the parcel will be under just the low density district.
So the red and orange become one parcel.
That is correct.
That's what's being consolidated.
Yeah. What does the clause 2 relate, your condition number 3, I don't understand what that
According to our saldo, clause 2 is only to be on that plan when new rights-of-ways and easements are being created. We don't see any rights-of-ways or easements being created, so just to clarify matters, just to clean things up, we're requesting the applicant either remove it or explain why they feel it's necessary.
Any audience comments or questions? Anything, Ted? Anything?
No, I'm good. I'm ready to make a motion if we're ready. I'll make a motion that the Planning Commission recommend approval of the Sugarwood Plan No. 2 as outlined in the Planning Commission staff memo dated August 3rd, 2023, including the 4 conditions of the memo.
Do I hear a second?
Second?
We have a motion and second, and all those in favor say aye.
Yay.
And the motion passes. Our second business is the Trax Subdivision Plan No. 1 on Sugar Camp Road. And Jim, are you presenting?
Give me one moment.
Okay.
There we go. Keith Higgins, surveyor for and on behalf of the applicant, is requesting township approval to adjust the shared lot line between lots 1 and 2 of the property located at 801 Sugar Camp Road, as shown on the displayed subdivision plan. Lot 1 is approximately 26 acres in size, with area located on both sides of the 33-foot wide Sugar Camp Road right-of-way. It is owned by Trax Farm Incorporated and appears to be mostly comprised of actively farmed land. A one-story block garage is located towards the northern end of the property on the eastern side of and along Sugar Camp Road. Lot 2 is a square parcel that is landlocked with no frontage on Sugar Camp Road or any right-of-way, and it is an enclave of Lot 1. Lot 2 contains a 2-story brick dwelling used as a residence by Earl and Diane Trax. Access is provided via a private gravel driveway off of Sugar Camp Road that it shares with the aforementioned garage and greenhouses located on adjacent 791 Sugar Camp Road. The applicant proposes a conveying of land from Lot 1 to Lot 2, effectively expanding the amount of area the latter parcel encompasses to create Lot 2R. This would include all areas north of Lot 1 to the edges of the property and area to the south of the aforementioned gravel driveway. A 50-foot wide corridor would also be extended to the southwest to give Lot 2R frontage on Sugar Camp Road. Additionally, an 8.5-foot wide strip of land is being dedicated to the township in order to bring that section of the 33-foot right-of-way into alignment with the 50-foot right-of-way adjacent to it to the northwest. The proposed plan would result in a conforming Lot 2R being created from the existing non-conforming Lot 2. Remaining Lot 1 would remain a conforming lot. Planning staff recommends that the Trax Subdivision Plan No. 1 be approved subject to the following. Pierce Creek Sanitary Authority approval of the plan, Washington County Planning Commission review of the plan, the proposed 20-foot access easement to benefit remaining Lot 1 be expanded to include all portions of the gravel driveway running through Lot 2R. A shared access agreement for the shared driveway be presented to Township staff prior to the subdivision plan being considered for approval by Township Council, and that the shared access agreement be maintained in perpetuity for all 3 lots utilizing the shared driveway to Sugar Camp Road.
So is that driveway completely in the 2-R or half and half?
It is not. It actually enters the property from 791 Sugar Camp Road, and access will be actually outside that. That's why we're asking for the shared maintenance agreement to include 3 properties.
Now, does this come under the classification of a flag lot?
It would, yes.
And it has all the, I'm sure all the lines. So what is the front of the lot? Would it be the northeast?
The front would be the frontage along Sugar Camp Road. The right-of-way dedicated to the township is represented by that yellow bar there. That would be where the frontage would be.
Can this lot be further subdivided later?
I don't believe so. Not, it's already, the flag lot's 50-foot corridor is the minimum, so I couldn't see how it would be subdivided.
Well, there's this shared driveway, so, oh, I see. So on the drawing that I have, it shows that the driveway, the gravel drive, is not in that flag portion in that 51-foot section.
It is not, no.
Okay.
It accesses
I see.
at 791.
Yeah, in my head, I had figured that it was part of that, so that would be... So with that being a 51-foot flag, couldn't they put like a 50-foot right-of-way in there and get a township road to go in there and then subdivide that?
In theory.
In theory, yes, but as things are currently, no.
Okay.
Any audience comments?
I'll make a motion for Planning Commission recommendation on the Trax Subdivision Plan No. 1 with the staff's 5 comments.
Do I hear a second? Second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
All those opposed, the motion passes. New business item C, Westbury revised plan of lots, phase 1 on Westbury Drive.
So we have 2 Westbury items before us this evening. The first is a simple revision to the Westbury Phase 1 plan.
Oh, sorry.
December 19th, 2022, council approved the Westbury Phase 1 final plan. Since that time, public infrastructure has been put in place, constructed. Lots have been graded. We have issued building permits for homes on some lots. However, they recently discovered, as the preparations for the Phase 2 final plan, that a lot that was always shown as part of Phase 1 did not make it on the Phase 1 plan for recording. So they want to adjust that error and add Lot 59 onto the Phase 1 revised final plan and re-record Phase 1. Not Any other material changes? No other changes as part of the preliminary plan, no new lots, nothing else, just putting this lot back into Phase 1. Staff is making a recommendation of approval for the Westbury Plan of Lots Phase 1 revised, be approved, subject to the 2 conditions in my August 3rd memo.
Looks pretty straightforward, guys. Anything?
It was probably Ed's fault. He probably missed it.
Oh, man.
I still get to use the, that was before my time here. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's going to run out.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Can I hear a motion on this?
That list is getting shorter.
For Planning Commission recommendation for Westbury Phase 1 revised final plan.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor say yea.
Yay.
And the motion passes.
See, you took a tough
Finally,
one
on the
there,
new
Seth.
business is the second half of the Westbury Plan of Lots Phase 2, Westbury Drive. Seth?
Yeah, this is Phase 2. So when that Westbury final plan was approved in December of last year, they split into 2 phases. We just addressed Phase 1. This is Phase 2. They are prepping for construction and public infrastructure installation, so in order to do that, we have to approve the Phase 2 final plan into our agreements that are required so they can proceed on development. Phase 2 includes the remaining 31 lots along 2 new roadways, White Cliff Drive and Winthrop Drive. This also includes a right-of-way to the property line that would facilitate the connection into the adjacent property. Off to our west and northwest is the 370-acre Miller property that has frontage both on Bebout and Venetia Road. No other changes are being proposed from the previously approved Westbury preliminary plan. Staff is making recommendation of approval subject to the 7 conditions outlined in my August 3rd memo.
Phase 1 is well underway. Is that
Phase 1 is well underway. We are in the process or already have accepted the roads in Phase 1. We've issued building permits for model homes in Phase 1, full steam ahead with house construction. Phase 2, they're itching to get going on that.
Where are those houses landing sale-wise?
I believe 450 and up, 500 and up, somewhere in
Is that
there.
including a bathroom?
At least one. If you want a toilet, maybe it's 600,000.
What, I never saw grouting reports as one of your line items.
That was part of the Phase 1. When the Westbury plan was done, it was identified that, as with the rest of the South Hills of Pittsburgh, there's a significant amount of undermining here. Early on in the development, they had a geotechnical engineer identify a number of lots in the development that require grouting reports. Prior to building permit issuance, there are 3 lots in Phase 2. So we need to memorialize that. It's already on their Phase 2 plan for recording. They've accounted for that. We just like to make sure we're consistent about that.
Yeah, was there grouting in Phase 1 as well, any lots?
There was grouting on lots in Phase 1. We have not issued any building permits for lots that need to be grouted, so we haven't really gone through that process yet. However, this portion of roadway off Phase 2 in Phase 1 required grouting.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we did get the
roadway,
grouting
we made
reports.
them.
Yes, we got the geotech reports. The grouting was done for that portion of Westbury Drive.
That's like, I don't know if you were on.
Yeah.
When they approved this, remember they had,
Yeah.
people were here talking about all the water run,
Yeah.
acid mine?
Right.
Yeah.
Remember that now.
I would recommend, if you've not been down to this area, drive through Phase 1. They've done a nice job. There's some really nice lots up there, really great views over the area. I think
Nice.
it's a nice plan.
It hasn't been mined for like over 100 years.
Yeah, everybody's afraid of the property.
Real
Right.
close to the surface.
Yeah.
One was, somebody was still getting coal or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Oh,
were
there's-
saying that you'd come in the living room and go to the back of the living room.
There's homes down in Telbin and Chucks where there's doors in the basements to go into the mines.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's pretty wild.
We'll make a motion for Planning Commission recommendation for the Westbury Plan of Lots Phase 2.
I'll second.
We have a motion and seconded. All those in favor say yea.
Yay.
Opposed? None. And so the motion passes. Planning portion, are there any issues that we need to discuss?
The comprehensive plan RFP is out with a submission deadline of August 25th. I think I have sent the full RFP to just over a half dozen consultants. Jim and I had a meeting early this week with a consultant out of Ohio. I think it was a good, productive meeting. They're interested. A couple local firms, some here, some there. So we're getting some positive reception on that.
Did the same consultant that did the last one, are they bidding on this
I
one?
don't think they still exist.
I was going to say, yeah.
And they use a number of sub-consultants. We tried to look back on that sub-consultants list. And a lot of them we weren't able to get contact info for, so I'm not sure what happened with them. But we've got some of the typicals that have responded to it as well in the area.
What's it called? The procurement time period and then the performance time periods of those?
So our goal is to have a consultant identified by November.
This November?
Yes, yes.
Okay, cool.
We'll get submittal deadlines by August, interview consultants the following months, have a decision by November, and then we're ready to go in 2024. Hit the ground running early in the year, have it done by the end of 2024. So all next calendar year will be dedicated to comp plan.
Cool.
Anything else, Seth?
That's it.
Commission members, anything? Jim?
No, I'm good.
Meeting adjourned.